The 400 meters hurdles is a track and field hurdling event. The event has been on the Olympic athletics program since 1900 for men and since 1984 for women. On a standard outdoor track, 400 meters is the length of the inside lane once around the stadium. Runners stay in the lanes the entire way after starting out of the blocks and must clear 10 hurdles that are evenly spaced around the track. The hurdles are positioned and weighted so that they fall forward if bumped into with sufficient force to prevent injury to the runners. Although there is no longer any penalty for knocking hurdles over, runners prefer to clear them cleanly, as touching them during the race slows runners down. The best male athletes can run the 400 meters hurdles in a time of around 47 seconds, while the best female athletes achieve a time of around 53 seconds. The current men's and women's world record holders are Kevin Young with 46.78 seconds and Yuli Yupekonkina with 52.34 seconds. Compared to the 400 meters run, the hurdles race takes the men about 3 seconds longer and the women 4 seconds longer. The 400 meters hurdles was held for both sexes at the inaugural IAAF World Championships in Athletics. The first championship for women came at the 1980 World Championships in Athletics, being held as a one-off due to the lack of a race at the 1980 Summer Olympics. History. The first awards in a 400 meters hurdles race were given in 1860 when a race was held in Oxford, England, over a course of 440 yards. While running the course, participants had to clear 12 wooden hurdles, over 100 centimeters tall, that had been spaced in even intervals. To reduce the risk of injury, somewhat more lightweight constructions were introduced in 1895 that runners could push over. However, until 1935 runners were disqualified if they pushed over more than 3 hurdles in a race, and records were only officially accepted if the runner in question had cleared all hurdles clean and left them all standing. The 400 meters hurdles became an Olympic event at the 1900 Summer Olympics in Paris, France. At the same time, the race was standardized so that virtually identical races could be held and the finish times compared to each other. As a result, the official distance was fixed to 400 meters, or 1 lap of the stadium, and the number of hurdles was reduced to 10. The official height of the hurdles was set to 91.4 centimeters for men and 76.20 centimeters for women. The hurdles were now placed on the course with a run up to the first hurdle of 45 meters, a distance between the hurdles of 35 meters each, and a home stretch from the last hurdle to the finish line of 40 meters. The first documented 400 meters hurdles race for women took place in 1971. The International Association of Athletics Federations introduced the event officially as a discipline in 1974, although it was not run at the Olympics until 1984. The first men's world champion having been crowned the year before at the inaugural IAAF World Championships in Athletics. A special edition of the women's 400 meters hurdles happened in the 1980 IAAF World Championships in Athletics in response to the women's 400 meters hurdles not being included in the boycotted 1980 Moscow Olympics and the Liberty Bell Classic. Many athletic commentators and officials have often brought up the idea of lifting the height of the women's 400 meters hurdles to incorporate a greater requirement of hurdling skill. This is a view held by German athletic coach Norbert Stein. All this means that the women's hurdles for specialists, who are the target group to be dealt with in this discussion, is considerably depreciated in skill demands when compared to the men's hurdles. It should not be possible in the women's hurdles that the winner is an athlete whose performance in the flat sprint is demonstrably excellent but whose technique of hurdling is only moderate and whose anthropometric characteristics are not optimal. This was the case at the World Championships in Seville, and the same problem can often be seen at international and national meetings. Hurdling technique. The 400 meters hurdle race, one of the most demanding of all events in the sprint hurdle group. It requires speed, endurance, and hurdling technique all along with unique awareness and special concentration throughout the race. Block start. When preparing to hurdle, the blocks should be set so that the athlete arrives at the first hurdle leading on the desired leg without inserting a stutter step. A stutter step is when the runner has to chop his or her stride down to arrive on the correct leg for takeoff. Throughout the race, any adjustments to stride length, stride speed should be made several strides out from the hurdle because a stutter being too far from the hurdle at takeoff will result in loss of momentum and speed. Hurdling. At the beginning of the takeoff, the knee must be driven toward the hurdle and the foot then extended. The knee should be slightly bent when crossing the hurdle. Unless an athlete's body has great flexibility, the knee must be slightly bent to allow a forward body lean. Unlike the 110 meters hurdles, where significant forward body lean is not necessarily due to the hurdles being lower. However, the trail leg must be kept bent and short to provide a quick lever action allowing a fast hurdle clearance. The knee should pull through under the armpit and should not be flat across the top of the hurdle. It is also important that the hurdler doesn't reach out on the last stride before the hurdle, as this will result in a longer bound being made to clear the hurdle. This will also result in a loss of momentum if the foot lands well in front of the center of gravity. Stride length. Using a left lead leg on the bends allows the hurdler to run closer to the inside of the lane and cover a shorter distance. Additionally, if the left leg is used for the lead, then the athlete's upper body can be leaned to the left, making it easier to bring the trail leg through. Additionally, an athlete hurdling with a right-legged lead around the bends must take care that they do not inadvertently trail the foot or toe around the hurdle, rather than passing over the top, which would lead to a disqualification from the race. Depending on the height and strength of the athlete, men work toward a stride pattern of 13 to 15 steps between each hurdle, and women work toward a stride pattern of 15 to 17. This does not include the landing step from the previous hurdle. Weaker athletes will typically hold a longer step pattern throughout the race so that they do not bound or reach with each step, which also results in a loss of speed. These patterns are ideal because it allows the hurdler to take off from the predominant leg throughout the race without switching legs. However, fatigue from the race will knock athletes of the stride pattern and force runners to switch legs. At an early age, many coaches train their athletes to hurdle with both legs. This is a useful skill to learn since as a runner tires, the stride length may decrease, resulting in the need either to add a stutter stride, or to take a hurdle on the other leg. The 400 meters hurdles is a very physically demanding race. It requires intense training to get the endurance, speed and technique needed to compete. Statistics. All-time top 25 men as of July 2016 notes. Below is a list of all other times superior to 47.35. Edwin Moses ran 47.13, 47.14, 47.17, 47.27, 47.32. Kevin Young ran 47.18. Bershawn Jackson ran 47.32. Felix Sanchez ran 47.35. All-time top 25 women as of July 2016 notes. Below is a list of all other times superior to 52.80. Lashinda Demas ran 52.63, 52.77. Melen Walker ran 52.64, 52.73. Kim Button ran 52.74. Milestones meant first official IAAF world record, first under 54 seconds, first under 53 seconds, first under 52 seconds, first under 51 seconds, first under 50 seconds, first under 49 seconds, first under 48 seconds, first under 47 seconds, 46.78 seconds. Kevin Young, 1992. Women first official world record, first under 56 seconds, first under 55 seconds, first under 54 seconds, first under 53 seconds, 52.94 seconds. Marina Stepanova, 1986. Most successful athletes. American athlete Glenn Davis had a prodigious start to his hurdling career, running his first race in April 1956 in 54.4s. 2 months later, he ran a new world record with 49.5s, and later that year he won the 400 meters hurdles at the Olympics, and was also the first to repeat that feat in 1960. In terms of success and longevity in competition, Edwin Moss's record is significant. He won 122 races in a row between 1977 and 1987, plus 2 gold medals at the 1976 Summer Olympics in Montreal and the 1984 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. He was undefeated for exactly 9 years, 9 months and 9 days, from the 26th of August 1977 until the 4th of June 1987. The U.S. boycott of the 1980 Summer Olympics in Moscow prevented him from winning a hat-trick of gold medals, but his career is nonetheless widely regarded as one of the most successful in hurdling. He finished third in the 1988 Olympic final, the last race in his professional career. He also held the world record for 16 years, from when he first broke it at the Olympics on the 25th of July 1976 until it was finally broken by Kevin Young at the 1992 Summer Olympics in Barcelona. Melen Walker, Olympic 2008, World 2009. 2 Olympic victories, Edwin Moses, 1976 and 1984, Felix Sanchez, 2004 and 2012. 2 World Championships, Felix Sanchez, 2001 and 2003, Nezabidouan, 1997 and 2001, Zuzana Hejnova, 2013 and 2015. Note: Edwin Moses and Kevin Young are the only male 400 meters hurdlers to have been Olympic champion, world champion and broken the world record. Note: Sally Gunnell is the only female 400 meters hurdler to have been Olympic champion, world champion and broken the world record. Olympic medalists. Men, Women World Championships medalists. Men, Women. The official IAAF World Championships in athletics began in 1983, but in 1980, the women's 3,000 meters and 400 meters hurdles events had a World Championship competition in Sittard, Netherlands. This was due to these events not yet being on the Olympic program. Season's bests.